I can understand he's feeling rather bitter about that.
Well, he's clearly unhappy, isn't he? These things happen though, don't they?
They do.
You know,
they do.
Once the ref's blown the whistle, that's it, isn't it?
That's it. There's nothing you can do about it, is there? You've just got to build on that, I suppose, and move forward now.
Right, well, we're going to move on. And New Mills. The Vase dream, well, it came to an end on Saturday in front of a pretty good crowd at Church Lane, really. Now, the Millers' first half were pretty good. In fact, you have to say they were a dominant team, really. Created an awful lot of chances, and they should have scored at least a couple, really. But the final touch in front of goal let them down. And Tommy Turner, who's been a regular goal scorer from this season, particularly in the Vase, just didn't look sharp at all, and he got subbed. And of course, also just after half time, Carlos Meakin, the captain, got a bad injury. I believe he can't walk at the moment, or he's on crutches or something.
That's
so,
problem,
and that really was the turning point of the game. After that, New Mills really were on the back foot, and Norton came forward and really pushed them. And in the end, the 2 goals he scored were fantastic pieces of individual skill. The lad, Sonny, what's he called? Sonny Andrews, who's apparently named after the boxer Sonny Liston, but he produced 2 amazing pieces of individual skill and cracking goals. And I don't think anybody, Miller supporters or not, could argue with the result in the end. Really,
no,
you know. And again, we've spoken to Tony Hancock, and I think he's admitted they weren't up to par. You know, and you can't argue with the result.
No, although I suppose should just be congratulations for them for getting so far, really. I mean, it's still quite an achievement.
It's certainly gone way beyond anywhere they've gone before in the Vase. I don't know where they go. I mean, the Newcastle are top of the league, are way out in front, aren't they? So I don't think
I don't think there's much chance.
Not much happening in the league for them. So, but they've still got the Derbyshire Cup, haven't they?
Yep.
And is it this week they play, John, in the Derbyshire Cup? Next week in the Derbyshire Cup in the semi-final against Matlock. So that's a big game for them, isn't it?
Definitely.
And they've still got the Vodcat League Cup as well. So there's plenty to go for.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll just go to Tony Hancock's interview now and see what he had to say.
The fact is, we wasn't good enough on the day on Saturday, and I just felt that, you know, if we played them 8 times out of 10 we beat them, the other 2 we'd probably draw 1 and lose 1. And unfortunately, we didn't perform on Saturday like I know we can, and obviously we go out of the competition because of that reason.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the turning point really was in the second half, that injury to Carlos Meakin. I know you've said before that the team doesn't revolve around one player, but surely that must have been a big blow for you.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, to lose any player of Carlos's ability is a blow. But you know, as I said to you before, Jonathan, we played at St Helens the week before, and we beat them 4-0 on their own patch at St Helens, and they're 5th in the league. And that was without Carlos Meakin, and it was probably the best performance I've witnessed as New Mills manager. We were absolutely outstanding, and that was without Carlos.
Yeah.
You know, just because you lose Carlos, you know, it's my job to be able to replace Carlos Meakin or whatever player it is, to get a result. You know, but unfortunately, losing Carlos wasn't just the problem, it was everybody else was the problem. We carried 5 or 6 players who on the day was nowhere near good enough, and if they hadn't been, we would have gone through. But, you know, we carried them, and you can't afford to do that at that stage of the competition. Yeah,
you seem to have quite a few chances in the first half. If you'd taken them chances, you think it could have been different?
Yeah, it probably could have, you know, because it'd give us a bit more of an impetus. You know, it'd give us more impetus to go and take the game to them. You know, in particular, Adam Mather had 2 great chances in the first half. But, you know, he's a little bit rusty. He's had swine flu over the big freeze time over Christmas. He had swine flu, that's took it out of him. He's lost a bit of weight. And I think he's down lacking in a little bit of confidence. And normally Adam in them situations in the past, you know, has broke the net with the 2 strikes and put us 2 goals in front. Yeah. But, you know, he is a little bit rusty. You know, and maybe, you know, as daft as it sounds, maybe the break's not done us any favours. But, you know, we've no complaints. They deserve to go through on the day. And, you know, we've just got to now rally round, you know, get back to the league tonight.
Yeah. I mean, on the challenge itself, on Carlos Meakin, do you think that warranted more than a yellow card? Do you think there was more in that, or was it just one of them things really in football?
Well, I think that's one of the things things in football. You know, I was a centre forward myself. I give it out and I have to take it, and that's what that's what football does to you. You know, but at the same time, you know, he could have got a red card. He didn't. He got a yellow. You know, and I've seen red cards given out for lesser things. You know, so that's just football. I didn't think the officials played. You know, I thought one or two of the decisions the officials made were a little bit ropey, to say the least. But at the same time, you know, it's going to be one of them games where there's going to be a lot of 50-50s and 60-40s, however you want to put it.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't think the lads, you know, that happens in football. Carlos is fully aware that happens in football.
Yeah.
Carlos gives it out, you know, and Carlos takes it because he's one of the better players.
Yeah.
But you know, you know, it's gone now. It's finished. You know, we played our part as far as we could. We didn't perform on the day, and you know, they deserved to go through. We didn't.
Yeah. And what's the latest on Carlos? Have you got any idea how long he's going to be out for?
Well, he's had 8 stitches. You know, it was quite a deep cut. There's no breaks, fortunately. All his metatarsals are still intact off the X-ray, so we've been told. He's had 8 stitches in quite a deep cut, so he's not allowed to do anything for 10 days. You know, he can't run on it. He can only just about walk on it with the aid of a walking stick for now. But it's nothing serious. You know, once I suppose the cut heals back together, he'll be back to normal. But obviously, it's going to take a couple of weeks, and we'll reassess it then and see where we go from there.
Yeah. And on the attendance, a crowd of over 400 at Church Lane. It was up from the last round. Were you pleased with the turnout?
Yeah, I was. You know, I've maintained all along that, you know, New Mills has got a semi-professional team playing there now at Church Lane. You know, 4 years ago, Jonathan, it was probably, with the greatest respect to people at the club at that time, you know, and the players, it was an amateur club.
Yeah.
But, you know, in the last 4 years, it's come on 150% with everybody's work. The chairman, you know, backing me in the last 4 years, and all the board and the committee and everybody involved at the club has given everything. You know, and we've turned it around, and they've now got a semi-professional club playing at Church Lane, as I've just said.
Yeah.
So for them to come out and support, they're only supporting their own club, you know, and they should come down more often because they see some very, very attractive football, and there's some great players on show, albeit they didn't really see it on Saturday. But, you know, as I said to you, if we play them